Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about this longer term period of accumulation for Chainlink, and I'm going to be discussing the possibility of an eventual breakout, some upside targets and possibilities that we could look to that are theoretically on the table. If we do get that breakout, I'll take a look here at the Chainlink Bitcoin ratio and discuss how there's some very interesting things playing out on this pair over the last few weeks that we can take and use in our analysis. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, by the way, please do leave any of your comments, video recommendations, and suggestions down below. So again, with Chainlink, we have seen a very long period of consolidation with the support right around $6, the resistance right around $9, basically a very tight range that we have been in since May of 2022. If I take a measurement in here, you can see that it has been approximately 50 weeks. So again, a very long time to be consolidating in such a tight range, especially for an altcoin like Chainlink, which does have historically a lot of volatility. And I do think that we will see that volatility resume when we do eventually get a breakout outside of this range, either above the range highs at $9 or breaking down below the support at $6. Though I don't think that is the most likely scenario. I really don't see a situation with Chainlink where we would come back down, lose the range lows in the support at $6 and start to trend lower, mainly because I see the entire crypto asset class has bottomed. A lot of indications pointing towards the fact that we are in a new cycle, and instead we should be focusing on the upside possibilities and looking at this as a major range of accumulation. Now, of course, we haven't seen the breakout yet, so we can't really look to those upside targets until we can have a confirmed breakout. But I did want to throw them out there because I think that any move to the upside could be fairly quick. Again, I think that volatility will resume quite fast just because Chainlink really isn't doing anything here. It's just going sideways, and it has been going sideways for almost 1 year now. So when we do eventually get that trending environment, I think those moves and the rallies or the breakdowns will just be very aggressive. Again, I am counting more on the upside and the rallies portion because it does look like a major bottoming pattern. It does look like a lot of accumulation going on here, and especially with Bitcoin really just confirming that sentiment, really confirming that big move off the lows, breaking out above $25,000 and making a 1-year high. So those are the upside possibilities. I do think that we will see the breakout. In terms of where we could eventually trend towards, if we do see that move outside of this range, I think the main target that we can look to here is the previous support from back here in the summer of 2021, where we had more or less this triple bottom right around $15. If I zoom back here, you can see how this level was previously a major zone of support. You can see the first retest right here in May of 2021 bouncing pretty sharply off that, the second retest here in June of 2021, and then the last attempt in July, unable to break down, in fact forming the triple bottom, and then coming back up here for a major bounce off of those lows. So zooming here to where we are today, that would be a move outside of this range, breaking out by about 70% to the upside. And I think that's very reasonable to expect. We have seen bounces like that in the past. It's something that a lot of other altcoins have already done so far off of their own breakouts. So if Chainlink were to exit this range and this accumulation, I really don't think it would be unreasonable to suggest $15 is a possibility within the next few months. But of course, that's with the assumption that we do get that breakout, and I am fairly optimistic. We are coming up here to almost retest the highs from back here in February. We're getting closer and closer to the range highs. In fact, just another 9% or so could take us up to that level. Chainlink is fairly capable of making that return in just 1 day. So, we could have a retest of the range highs any day now, especially with some of the altcoins doing very well as of late over the last few days. So just watch out for that, and it would be a very significant retest, again, coming up to the resistance and the point where we rejected that from back here in June of 2022, August, November, and then the move falling just short in February. So any move where we're starting to get up to that level, you're looking at a 5th retest, which, if the more and more retests you have of a certain level of resistance, the more likely it is to break, because there's really only so many people willing to sell at this exact same level. Anyone who's willing to sell Chainlink at around $8 to $9 has probably done it by now, either in June, August, October, November, or even from back here in February. So that's why I'm fairly optimistic if we do see that next an eventual retest coming up here back to the $8 to $9 level of resistance. And then if we can get a breakout, again, that's the main target that I would look to. Now, beyond this key level of accumulation and this key range, another thing that's been very important to be watching out for Chainlink has been the Chainlink Bitcoin ratio, which, as you can see, since November of 2022 at this local high, it has been bleeding quite significantly. If I take a measurement here, you can see it's actually down by about 40% from the local low that we had last week. It was down by about 47%. And all this is really telling us is that Chainlink has been underperforming Bitcoin. And what I mean by this is if you look here at Chainlink, again, it is still within this longer term range. It is below the highs from back here in November. It is below the highs from February. Meanwhile, if we look here at Bitcoin, you can see that it is actually making a higher high. It's broken out and it's completely taken out the highs from August, October, November, all of these lower highs that a lot of the market has. It has broken out above that and it has made a higher high. So when we're looking back here at Chainlink, again, it hasn't done that, and we've seen that relative underperformance. And all we want to see is for that to start to change and for this Link Bitcoin ratio to have a reversal coming back up here and really just reclaiming a lot of this lost ground. If that can happen, then that could very quickly take us above the range, get that breakout, and eventually start to have more and more momentum pick up for, say, some of those upside targets. Now, with the Chainlink Bitcoin ratio, we did see a low last week right around 24,000 Satoshis. And of course, we have seen a pretty sizable bounce off of that so far. By this measurement, we're up about 16%. So we have a possibility and a candidate for a higher low and a point where we might start to look for a retracement back to the upside, coming back and reclaiming a lot of this lost ground. So that's what we want to see. We want to see that moving forward. We want to see in the next few weeks a continuation higher. And ideally, the key level that I want to see reclaimed is this level right around 29,000 Satoshis. So if I zoom in here, you can see that was a key level of support from back here in July of 2022. You can see that's basically where we had the higher low and then continuation higher. That was also support from January up until February, and then the breakdown eventually came in mid-March. So if Chainlink is able to break back above this, reclaim it on the Chainlink Bitcoin ratio, then when I'm zooming out here, this really does look like a possibility for a higher low and for some sort of reversal pattern where we might start to trend back up to some of these higher valuations. And if the Link Bitcoin ratio can do that, then that will very much increase the likelihood that we do see a breakout to the upside and do see that expansion to the next levels of resistance. So definitely pay attention to the Chainlink Bitcoin ratio into the next few weeks. Of course, the bearish scenario in this is that potentially instead of reclaiming this and flipping it back into support, we have a move and we reject off of this and instead flip it into resistance. And in this scenario, then we could start to target the range lows, coming back down, retesting the support from back in May of 2022, which is around 22,000 Satoshis. This would be the scenario in which maybe Chainlink continues to range and then Bitcoin continues to rally into 32, 34, or even 36K. So this is not necessarily what we want to see, but of course it is a possibility, and I did want to throw it out there because this could very well flip into resistance, being previous support from back here in 2022. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and as always, I will see you in the next one.